John Maynard Keynes, The General Theory of Employment, Interest, and Money. Dive into the transformative insights of John Maynard Keynes in his pioneering work, The General Theory of Employment, Interest, and Money. This book challenges the bedrock of classical economic theories about unemployment, wages, and market dynamics. Keynes debunks the conventional wisdom that ties employment strictly to wage adjustments, presenting a sophisticated narrative of economic interplay between consumption, investment, and employment. Our exploration will guide you through Keynes's arguments against involuntary unemployment, the pivotal connections between consumer behavior and employment rates, and the intriguing role of economic multipliers. By distilling these complex ideas into accessible concepts, the summary will illuminate Keynes's revolutionary perspective on how economies operate, providing you with a fresh understanding of how employment levels aren't solely dictated by traditional market forces but are intricately linked to broader economic activities and policies.
Redefining unemployment. Misguided assumptions within classical economic theories significantly misrepresent unemployment's underlying causes. Keynes, in his critique of traditional economic theory, delved into the flaws of these traditional views. Classical economists assert that a worker's wage mirrors their contribution to a business's value. They argue that if a company opts not to hire someone, it means the worker's potential value matches only their unmet salary. Further, they claim that a wage represents the lowest amount a worker is inclined to accept, marking an ideal equilibrium between labor supply and company demand. However, Keynes saw these beliefs as disconnected from reality, notably missing the nuanced phenomenon of involuntary unemployment. According to Keynes, situations arise where individuals are eager and capable of working at current wage levels, yet they remain unemployed. Classical economists often reframe this as voluntary unemployment, assuming workers are merely rejecting lower wages out of choice. They attribute high unemployment in economic downturns to an unwillingness to accept pay cuts. Challenging this notion, Keynes showed how unemployment could vary widely without shifts in wage demands or worker productivity, suggesting unseen factors beyond classical analysis. Keynes emphasized that classical assumptions fail to capture the complex realities of workforce dynamics, particularly concerning unwilling unemployment and worker perspectives toward wages. His critique aimed to highlight these deficiencies and suggest a more refined understanding of employment and wage interactions, advocating for a model that more accurately addresses the complexities and unpredictability of real-world economic conditions. Keynesian economic insights. Dive into the intricate web of employment, income, and spending habits shaping our economy through the lens of Keynesian theory. Employment levels directly affect a community's earnings, manifesting as money or tangible assets. The magic lies in what Keynes terms propensity to consume, essentially, the likelihood of people to spend what they earn. With higher incomes, spending increases, but not in direct proportion, revealing a crucial element of the economic puzzle. Businesses, in their decision to hire, are guided by anticipated consumer spending in the community's investment plans. Combine these factors, and you arrive at effective demand. Achieving employment equilibrium, where supply matches the combined forces of consumption propensity and investment volume, is key, yet tricky. It reaches a limit when actual wages equate to the dissatisfaction of labor. This viewpoint challenges classical economics, which suggests relentless competition can maximize employment. Instead, Keynes argues that simply boosting employment doesn't guarantee a rise in investment to close the gap between the supply price and consumer spending returns. Employment hinges not only on the willingness to work but also on consumption habits and investment rates. Interestingly, wealthier communities face a larger chasm between their real and potential output. This arises because they consume less of their production and must seek out investment opportunities to sustain employment levels. Failing to do so, they might reduce output to align with diminished consumption and investment. To grasp the full economic picture, three elements are crucial: understanding consumption tendencies, assessing capital efficiency, and deciphering interest rate mechanisms. Mastering these principles allows us to see how prices align within the broader economic framework. Investment's ripple effects. Imagine investment and employment as dance partners on the economic stage, each influencing the other in a dynamic interplay. At the core of their performance are two crucial concepts: the marginal propensity to consume, MPC, and the economic multiplier. The MPC gauges how much of an additional dollar people are likely to spend rather than save. A higher MPC means that people spend a greater portion of their earnings, which in turn amplifies the economic multiplier effect. This multiplier determines how much overall income will swell with increased investment, and it has a counterpart known as the employment multiplier, which assesses growth in employment following new investment jobs. However, the relationship between these factors isn't always straightforward. Imagine a scenario where people don't adjust their spending habits despite increased income. Here, the rise in employment directly stems from specific investments, such as public infrastructure projects. If everyone spends their added income, runaway inflation could become a real threat. The tale takes a thrilling twist when the MPC approaches 1. Minor shifts in investment can spark substantial employment changes, potentially leading to full employment with a modest investment bump. Conversely, a low MPC demands substantial investment for any noticeable effect on employment levels. To visualize these concepts, consider governmental public works that employ large numbers of people. Theoretically, with a multiplier of 4, hiring 100,000 workers should elevate employment by 400,000. But external factors, like financing methods and international spillovers, can either amplify or diminish this effect. Decisions on whether to spend more can also influence spending habits, such as increased savings by re-employed individuals or the profitability for entrepreneurs. Interestingly, it isn't just the scale of investment that matters. Incremental investments boast a higher multiplier effect, while significant changes necessitate an average multiplier assessment. Even small financial decisions can cause seismic shifts in employment and income, illustrating the potency of the multiplier principle. In Keynesian philosophy, even seemingly inefficient activities, like filling old coal mines with currency and employing workers to unearth it, could stimulate economic growth by boosting employment and consumption during times of high unemployment. However, Keynes advises prioritizing less wasteful means, such as constructing homes. This realization underscores the delicate equilibrium between investment, consumption, and employment, a nexus crucial not only for economists but also for everyone navigating the intricacies of the modern economic landscape. Investment rationality unveiled. Investment decisions often defy logic, entangled as they are with the conventions and expectations we hold about the future. We tend to trust what feels certain, even if it doesn't completely apply to the situations at hand, shaping our expectations based on current circumstances. When we anticipate change without clear details, our confidence falters, notably impacting investment returns. Predicting future profitability, say from a railway or a copper mine, is akin to wagering, much like the 19th century industrial capitalism's mix of skill and chance. Back then, ambition and instinct often guided investments. Today's financial markets allow for frequent reassessment of investments, similar to farmers deciding their day's work based on the weather forecast. Yet, this same flexibility can misguide new investment strategies. A central tenet is the reliance on conventions, tacit agreements that presume stability, barring some expected change. While this brings a semblance of stability, it complicates decisions involving significant investments, as the risk of long-term unpredictability looms large. Moreover, there's a concerning trend where investors are less informed due to the rise in ownership by individuals not directly managing businesses. This shift weakens the market's foundation for making sound decisions. Investors also tend to overreact to short-term profit fluctuations. Think of the ice companies fetching higher prices in summer or the British Railways value spiking due to a bank holiday. Such reactions exemplify how markets can respond unrealistically to temporary changes, driven by mass psychology rather than fundamental value assessments. Keynes critiques this tendency, arguing that wise investments should aim to navigate uncertainties of the future, instead of merely outmaneuvering other market participants. He emphasizes that real skill lies in balancing speculation and enterprise while maintaining spontaneous optimism. In conclusion, Keynes stresses the human dimension of economics, where decisions are often colored by much more than just quantitative analyses. Investing, fundamentally human as it is, demands a delicate equilibrium rooted in understanding both the complex interplay of sentiment and the broader economic ecosystem.
Keynes's groundbreaking approach reshapes our understanding of economic forces by emphasizing the intricate linkage between consumption, investment, and employment. Through his lens, traditional views on wages and employment equilibria appear inadequate for capturing economic realities, especially the phenomenon of involuntary unemployment. His propositions highlight how factors beyond wage flexibility, such as effective demand and investment variances, crucially influence employment levels. The delicate dance of consumer propensity and the multiplier effect showcases how even minor investment changes can significantly affect employment and income. Keynes's reflections extend beyond economics, touching on human psychology and market imperfections, urging a balance between speculation and enterprise. Ultimately, Keynes's work is not just an economic text but a profound statement about the unpredictability and interconnection of economic activities, inviting both policymakers and individuals to reconsider the fundamentals of economic planning and decision-making.